No doubt that this severely undermines his tenure. This severely undermines his so-called imperial reign, I would say, both domestically and outside. Look, even Chinese, they can hardly imagine how to comment on this. So much depends on the outcome. If Putin succeeds in actually tampering down and assassinating both Prigozhin and dismantling this Wagner Group or appointing someone else, so this would solidify the power of Putin in the long run. But as of now, this severely undermines his authority, and this is a real implosion.
Right. So we have no idea how this implosion will turn out. But in terms of the likely scenarios that we've looked at, it's either going to mean mass mobilization of the Russian people by Vladimir Putin and stepping the war up to a level where Prigozhin wants to see it anyway. It might mean the end of Putin and Prigozhin, possibly, or someone like him from the extreme right taking over, or possibly even them suing for peace, withdrawing their troops from Ukraine and suing for peace. That latter scenario, which is the one that you would like to see, I presume, and the West would like to see, at the moment seems the least likely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, you presented three case scenarios, different case scenarios. So we can evaluate the percentage rate or the probability rate of each of these three case scenarios. I would give 10% for the last one. And
so peace doesn't get much of a chance in this at the moment.
Definitely. It's Russia. Okay. Nothing has changed in Russia, and nothing will change in Russia. So as of now, there is a huge turbulence in Russia. But let me be very clear. Ukraine needs more weapon, more help, and more support. This is kind of what we just got. It's a kind of benefit, I would say, a temporary benefit. But please do not relax.
I don't think anyone's relaxing at the moment. Michael Clark, let me get back to you. Where do you see this heading? I know it's very early days. The lava is very liquid and very hot at the moment. But where do you see this heading, and what is your worst case and best case scenario?
Well, I mean, best case scenario, as you said, is that there is a removal of Putin and he's replaced. He won't be replaced by a nice man. He'll be replaced by somebody who's more hardline than him. I mean, maybe Patrushev or Berdnikov, maybe Lavrov, somebody like that. Lavrov, the least likely. The only thing we're certain about is it will be a man. But that dictators can spin on a sixpence. And so it is plausible that a right-wing hardliner would want to turn the thing round and sue for peace. That's possible, but as I think you say, it's the least likely. More likely, we're going to have to live through a second phase of the war, either rejuvenated Putin, who has got no choice now but to go all in on this, or a Putin stand-in, like Patrushev, somebody like that. And it'll be the next but one leader that we can maybe get back on terms with.
You're smiling more than you normally smile when I speak to you. Are you doing that because you think this is the end of Vladimir Putin, or why?
I think that is the beginning of the end, and in fact, just this was quite predictable, but not in such a crash. What is we see this night and this morning. Of course, just that's absolutely correct. You have just said that is a real challenge, which never happened for 23 years. Mr. Putin in power. That's for Mr. Putin as a big challenge, and I think, in fact, it's a crucial moment. I think if within these 2 days, Mr. Putin will not suppress, as he called it, just a military mutiny, in this case, just that would become already count days for collapse of Putin's regime, because just in this case. Not days, I would say just days, not literally days, but it will be very short period of time, because people and so-called ruling elite would start already see Putin as, I wouldn't say defeated yet, but already weak. But counteroffensive Ukrainian operation takes place, continue to do this, and very soon, and this morality which Prigozhin just brought additionally to those problems which Russian army has, that will be, of course, that will be collapse. And Putin, that's beginning of collapse of Putin's regime. But that's why Putin was so strong this morning when his statement said, just that is national traitor, and Prigozhin should be punished, and the criminal case already opened, etc. That's why he takes this very serious, because he understands that it's very serious for him personally.
And of course, Prigozhin would see himself as a Russian patriot. He's been critical of the army, he's been critical of the Kremlin, but he sees himself as a Russian patriot. And for a patriot like him, whatever you make of him as a character, for him to say that must be particularly painful for Vladimir Putin.
It is painful, absolutely, because just Prigozhin plays very effectively with, I would say, just wordings, and he positioned himself as a patriot, just working for motherland, fighting, etc. But in fact, what he really needs, what the conflict is about money. Prigozhin requires military supplies of ammunition, and he requires money, because just he cannot support by his money which he made in Africa, just spending to support and keep this his illegal military troops. That's why he requires from militaries, but militaries hate him. As well as FSB generals, as well as army generals. And that's why they created this, I would say, not implementation, because everything is dark. Everything is at underwater stones. And Prigozhin saying just patriotism that's on the top. But in fact, that's absolutely simple things. That's everything about his position, personal position in the future of Russia, and money.
Is this the beginning of a civil war in Russia?
Not yet. We shall see. I couldn't say just exactly. We shall see what will happen within these 2 days. Of course, it's clear that the senior officers, I wouldn't say generals, all officers against Prigozhin, but junior officers on the battlefield could demonstrate sympathy to him, because just they know the problems they have in this war, etc. But I don't think that will be a wide front against Putin. And Mr. Putin today, just all his, I would say, administration already requires from everybody, every governor, every member of the parliament, to demonstrate publicly, to demonstrate loyalty to Mr. Putin. Kadyrov already did this. Kadyrov said that
this
he
is the Chechen war leader.
Chechen war leader. He already sent his troops to Rostov just to help army to suppress Prigozhin's troops. That's what the interesting development. That's why I say it's very crucial for Putin, and he understands how it's difficult for him and how important day today for him.
Now, we've seen pictures, and this is only one tiny glimpse. We've seen pictures on the streets of Rostov-on-Don of ordinary citizens giving gifts, welcoming the Wagner fighters. Where do you think the Russian population lies in this particular conflict?
That's not necessarily a demonstration of all, I would say, intentional Russian population simultaneously from Rostov-on-Don. Other pictures coming and video when the people asking just what for you came here, stop this collapse. Just you saw just what President said, just get out of our city, etc. That's why population is divided. We don't know how population would behave. Population wants just to stop the war. They don't want to participate in this war, but Prigozhin is not for that. He's for something different. That's why it will be very difficult for Prigozhin to raise population and his support.
All right. Final question to you, Mikhail Kasynov. You know Mr. Putin well. You worked for Mr. Putin. Do you think that his days as president of Russia are numbered?
Not days, but not literally days numbered. That's absolutely, because just we're all sure that Ukraine would win this war. We all sure that Putin would be seen as defeated leader, and Prigozhin helping just for all Russian people and ruling elite to understand that Putin is not strong leader anymore. He's simply a fanatic who started this war and cannot finish. There is no plan B for Mr. Putin. That is already evident that will go this way. The issue is when, in few months or a couple of years.
So what we're talking about here is the beginning of the end of the Putin era.
Absolutely.